So on this lesson, we are going to study linear function or linear relation. We looked at this equation here, y equals 2x plus 1. It's a kind of relation between two variables. We have here a variable x and a variable y. How can we find the solution of this equation? Actually, we couldn't find a specific solution for this equation because for any x, there's a y. For any x, there is a y. So we have here two variables. They are x and y. And this is the same meaning of the function f of x is 2x plus 1. It's a kind of relation between two variables. And this kind of function is called linear function. It's called linear function. So here, to find the solution, we couldn't say or we couldn't find the solution, but we just can find the values satisfying the relation, like when x equals 0. So 0, this value is from my mind. We can take any value for x. So if x equals 0, what is the value of y? Just put the 0 in the function. 2 times 0 is 0 plus 1, so it's 1. And if x is equal to 1, so the value of y is going to be 2 times 1. We are substituting x1 in this relation. So 2 times 1, 2 plus 1, 3. And when x equals 2, for instance, what is the value of y? It's 2 times 2, 4 plus 1, 5. And some students get confused saying, Mister, why did you take 0, 1, and 2? Actually, we can take any value. We can take a value like -1. So, Omar, what is the value of y when x equals -1? Tell me.
-2 plus 1 equals -1.
Equals what? -1. Do you know why? 2 times -1 is -1 plus 1, it's -1. What if x was equal to -2? What is the value of y?
-2?
Yes. So it's 2 times -2, -4 plus 1.
-3.
-4 plus 1, it's -3. And as you see here, it's -2. And you'll find the -2 and 3, but the line is not drawing accurately. Must be here, and -1 and -1 here. So all these points are lying on one straight line. So this relation called linear relation or linear function. Okay. Let's have a look at this relation, y equals -3x plus 1. So to graph this relation, we are going to take some values for x and y, and see the values of y. So for instance, Omar, what are the values of x we can take?
0, 1, and 2.
So when x equals 0, what is the value of y?
0, it will be
1. And when x equals 1, for instance, what is the value of y?
-2.
-2. And when x equals 2, what is y?
-5.
-5. So plot the points on the coordinate plane. 0 and 1 is here. 1 and -2 is here. And 2 and -5 is here. And then join up these points. Do you know when x equals -1, what is the value of y?
Again?
-1, when x equals -1, what is the value of y? It will be 4.
-1, 4 plus 1 equals 5.
-1, -3 times -1, it's a 3. 3 plus 1 is 4.
Oh,
Okay. So we have here -1 and 4. And when x equals -2, what is the value of y? It's 7.
5.
Okay. So as you see here, Omar, it's a linear function or a linear equation. We have a straight line. So Omar, we have studied before something called the slope in the previous year. And the slope sometimes is called gradient. What is the slope of the line? The slope is the change in y over the change in x. So to find the slope of the line, we can call it rise over run. That's the slope. Rise over run. What is the rise? What does it mean? Rise is the change in y. Change in y. And run is the change in x. Change in x. So here, if we are going to take this point here and this point here, what does it mean, the rise over run? Rise, I want to move from this point to this point. So we're going to take 1 step, 2, 3 steps up. That's called rise. And here that's called run. Okay. So just take two clear points on the graph and find the rise over the run. As you see here, that's the rise. We have moved 3 units up. Rise is moving up. The change in y. So that's the rise here is 3. And the run here is 1. Let's analyze it. Let's analyze it. Here, we moved 3 units up. That's the rise. And we moved 1 unit to the left. So
Which is 1.
-1. Why I said -1? Because rise, I mean by the rise is moving up or moving down. When we move up, it's a positive. When we move down, it's negative. And I mean by the run is moving to the right or moving to the left. Moving to the right is positive and moving to the left is negative. That's the rise, that's the run. So here we moved how many units? We moved 3 units up. So 3 positive because we are moving up. And here we move to this point, we moved 1 unit to the right, to the left. So it's -1. So the gradient is 3 over -1. It's -3. This is a way to find the gradient if we have the graph. And we have another way to find the gradient. Just to take 2 points, like here. This point, what are the 2 coordinates of this point? It's 1 and -2. And what are the 2 coordinates of this point? It's 0 and 1. We can find the gradient using this way. If we have 2 coordinates here, 2 points. So it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And don't say, what is y2 or is y1? Any y can be considered y2 and any point can be considered y1. So say it easily, y minus y over x minus x. So it's -2 minus 1 over 1 minus 0. -2 minus 1 is -3 over 1, which is -3. That's the slope. Did you get it, Omar?
Yes.
If we are going to graph this relation y equals 4x minus 1, just take points for x like 0, 1, 2, -1, stuff like that. So here when x is 0, y is -1. So this point here 0 and -1. Here 1 and 3 is here. That's this point here with the 2 coordinates 1 and 3 and 2 and 7. Okay, obviously 2 and 7 is here in this place. 2 and 7 is here. Put here 5 6 and 7. And -1 and -5 is here. Join up them, you will get a line. This line has a gradient or has a slope. What is the slope of this line? Actually, we have two ways to find the slope. We can take two distinct points like these points here. They are two clear points here. And run from this point to this point. We are going to rise what and run what?
Rise 4 units.
Here, we are going to move, or are going to rise 4 units up. And we're going to run 1 unit to the right. That's the rise over run. You with me?
4.
So here, this is 4 up and 1. You know, this 4 is positive because we are moving up. And moving up is positive, and we are moving to the right, so it's a positive. So what is the gradient or the slope? It's 4 over 1, which is 4. And we have another way to find the gradient. What is this way? Just to take 2 points from the graph, like this point here is 0 and -1, and the point 1 and 3. Then find the gradient m equals y minus y over x minus x. So let's say 3 minus -1 over 1 minus 0. 3 minus -1, it's 4. And y minus 0 is 1, so it's 4 over 1, which is 4. That's the gradient. Omar, I want to make a small comparison between the equation here, this equation here, it's 4x plus 1, and this 4 here. What do you notice? There is a kind of relation between them. Do you know what is this relation? This 4 is equal to what? The coefficient of x.
Yes.
So we can get the gradient from the coefficient of x. We can get the gradient from the coefficient of x directly. Y equals 4x. So the gradient or the slope is 4. And now I wanna have a look at this number here, which is -1, and this number here. Let's have a look at this number and this number. What do you notice? The line cuts. The line cuts y-axis, or the line passes through y-axis or intersects y-axis at the point 0 and -1, this point here, at the point 0 and -1. So we look at the line, the straight line here, you would find a line. This line cuts y-axis at the point 0 and -1. This is called y-intercept. This is called y-intercept. What is the meaning of y-intercept? Y-intercept means the point of intersection, between the line and y-axis. So y-intercept here is -1. So the y-intercept here, or the line is passing through the point 0 and -1. Just have a look at this here. It's -1 here, 0 and -1. Okay. Have a look at -1 here. And -1 here. It's 4x -1 here. You will find there are kind of relation between them. They are the same. So we can get, if the equation is y equals 4x -1, we can get the slope directly. What is the slope, or what is the gradient? The gradient without graphing. What is the gradient? The gradient is 4. Okay, without graphing, without taking points. And what is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is what? 0 and -1. That's the point of intersection between the line and y-axis. Did you get it?
Yeah.
I want to graph this relation y equals 2/3x, okay, -4. What is the y-intercept? What is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is 0 and -4. That's the y-intercept. So we have a line passing through the point 0 and -4. And this, the coefficient of x represents what? The gradient, or represents the slope. And the slope, we have learned that it rise over run, okay? So the rise here is 2 and the run is 3. So you know, Omar, we can graph this relation by rising 2. So count with me, rise 2, 1, 2, and run 3, 1, 2, 3, and put a point here. And rise 2 again, 1, 2, and run 3, 1, 2, 3, and put a point here. And rise 2 and run 3, 1, 2, 3. So don't strain yourself. Don't strain yourself. We can do it easily by using rise over run. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Line. I have graphed the line by using the information here. We have two pieces of information. We have the y-intercept. The y-intercept here is -4. That's the y-intercept. And we have the gradient, which is 2/3. So we move to -4. And we put a point here. We put a point here. We determine the y-intercept. And then we have right 2 and we run 3. Rise 2 and run 3. Rise over run. And here rise 2 and run 3. Rise 2 and run 3. And after that, clean the question. We need all these lines. That's the line here, which represents this relation. Did you get it?
Yeah. Between any
Progress.
الحصة